When it came to the Mass Effect trilogy, something I've always sort of thought about from time to time is how I really was disappointed with the ending. I know it gave a lot of people gave it a lot of crap because it was just red, green, and blue ending, which I very much agree with. It was epic for about like 5 minutes. It was really freaking cool when you complete all the side quests, and if you actually able to get everyone on your side, it was really freaking cool to see the entire like the entire armada, like the whole fleet of like Quarians and Geth and Krogan, just everybody just rallying, to support Earth in this one final push against the Reapers. That was freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie. The problem that I had was that once I found out what the original vision of the ending was, then I got like annoyed about it. They did try and fix it with the extended version. And before I go on, personally, I was of the mind that the Unity ending, I like that one. I like it better than Shepard dying, and it makes sense for Shepard to die and explode all the Reapers. That makes sense. I don't like the idea that Shepard is like this digital avatar god, where like a part sound like it is just an impression of Commander Shepard, like some remnant of his consciousness. He can control the Reapers, but then it's like, well, how much of Shepard is left? It's kind of like an Alex Murphy situation, like RoboCop. How much is machine and how much is Murphy? You know what I mean? Is it just a machine that thinks it's Murphy? So you kind of have like a RoboCop situation. How much of Shepard is actually left that's stretched out? The hive mind thing. I thought Unity made sense. Some plot point that they made, like, organics and synthetics will never get along. So it made sense to kind of unify them. Everybody's more or less a hybrid. Like the plants are part machine, and then the people are part machine, but then the machines are part people, and whatever. It makes sense to me. It's sort of like the ultimate symbol of peace and unity, because everyone's the same, but really that just kind of cements that whole, none of the races will ever get along, and now they're all kind of united. Not united, but connected biological standpoint now. It was kind of whatever. Who knows? Maybe that also means Edie could like make a baby now, and him and Joker could have some hybrid robot baby. I don't know how that works. Anyway, apparently the original thing that they had in mind stemmed from dark matter, right? The second game, when you go to recruit Tally, it's like, there's planets. We were here to investigate the sun. This was supposed to be old Quarian like outpost at some point in their history, but the sun is dying and it's not supposed to be doing that yet. It's still young. It's going on, it's something to do with dark matter, whatever. The original idea wasn't that, the ancient ones created the Reapers, and they're like, well, organics will always rebel against synthetics, and synthetics always rebel against organics, and that's what causes war, so we're just going to kill everybody. No. Original idea that apparently Mass Effect fields store space. They damage it in some way. That's what's making this sun die quicker. So originally, the idea that the Reapers are actually the good guys. Basic logic was, hey, the way we travel throughout space and connect with other races, it's literally bad for us. It literally damages space the more we use it. Reapers, in their robotic logic, was like, well, only one way to save the universe: kill everybody. But they don't just wipe out their planets and make them barren, wipe out all sentient life. Then, as far as we understand it, they take all the technology, everything, and they remove it and traces of themselves. But it suggested that in the second game, when they're making that human reaper thing, suggests that when they wipe out a cycle, that they absorb all the information, all the technology. So they're like living records of each cycle that came before it. So each reaper is like a self-contained vessel of an entire galaxy, basically, or the same galaxy. So the Reaper's thought process in the original idea was that, okay, we're going to wipe out all higher forms of life, but then we're going to go away and we will allow the next form of life to take over because their ultimate goal isn't to eradicate organic life. It's that we have to save the universe because we're literally killing it whenever we fly to like the moon or the citadel or whatever. So in their minds, they're actually being nice, right? They allow people or civilizations to develop for 50,000 years or however long whatever the time period is. And they come back, clean up house, and then they leave, and then they give the next races to develop and gain sentience. They give them a chance to live their lives, and they come back and do it again. Because again, their ultimate goal is not to kill organic life. And because they couldn't figure out a way to save the universe, or at least as part of the galaxy, this was the best solution they could come up with. So they're basically putting a band-aid on this cosmic problem, which I find very interesting because they're kind of regarded as this, these vast ancient machines that have evolved so far that we could never understand their plan, this vast cycle or how long it's been going for and so on and so on. And so everything about the Reapers makes them come across as evil, Lovecraftian space horrors from like the beyond the outer edge of the galaxy, right? Because they reside in dark space, that barrier. Well, not a barrier, but that line, beyond the galaxy, they're just chilling up there and they hibernate. And I think that's very interesting because then think if they went with that original idea, it would have been more interesting and more complex because you thought that the big evil space crabs are basically space Satan. Actually, no, it's like, no, we're actually trying to help and we don't know the solution. Even after all these cycles, we couldn't think of a way to keep you from blowing up your own stars and whatever. But then they would have had to come up with a solution for that, and yeah, I don't think they were equipped to deal with that, among other problems that occurred in the writers room. They just said, hey, there was a meme when it came out and it went, hey, I heard you don't want synthetics to kill organics, so we made synthetics kill organics so that way organics won't make synthetics to kill organics. Like, what? That doesn't... you didn't want robots to kill people, so you made robots to kill people so people wouldn't be able to make robots kill people. It's like, what the fuck? But anyway, so that's just something that bothers me. It just seems so weird and such a dumb plot point, I mean, what else could they have done? It's not like they could have came up with a solution to, okay, well, now that I, Commander Shepard, know what's really going on, how can we save a very fabric of space because we keep, messing it up? I don't know. I just think it's weird. Would have made it more interesting, but nah. Got red, green, and blue. Also, something that I also agree with, just as a side note, is with the Quarians. I read that the person responsible for writing that arc in particular and said this, and I agree with him. He said that he thinks it's more realistic the Quarians would punch their own ticket, that they would be wiped out because they were so full of this generational hatred, this hubris, and just this obsession. It was their own obsession that led to their own destruction because they were so unwilling to compromise. And of course, in the game, if you do all the right things, you could make it so Geth and the Quarians have peace. And when you understand the Geth, yeah, it does seem like they're the victims in all this. And I don't want to be that guy, but in the lore, the Geth also take care of the planet, and they actually want their creators to come back. But every time their creators see them, it's always shoot on sight. So they're maintaining the planet, making it healthy. They love recycling and they don't want to bother anybody. But every time someone sees them, they start shooting. So they have to defend themselves. And they're like, well, whatever. I also think it's cool that the Geth just want to design a Dyson sphere and then upload all of their programs to it so they could just be this big planet shell just floating in space, just chilling out. They just want to mind their own business, which I really appreciate. But yeah, the ending was weird. Honestly, the last thing I want to say is I don't even know what I would do. What would you come up with? It would have to be like maybe the Citadel could have been like, okay, the Citadel is maybe constructed throughout the cycles not as a weapon, but as like an alternative engine, like this fuel source or a way of producing energy. It's not harmful. Then you wouldn't have the name Mass Effect because that's all it is. They use Mass Effect fields in the lore. It's like a Mass Effect fields alters gravity and all the blah 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 blah. I guess the Citadel could have been like this is some alternative way of harnessing energy without Mass Effect fields, and it allows space travel. But that way you don't disrupt space. I don't know. Yeah, well, I just think it's dumb. Red, blue, green. What a dumb plot point. Nothing else was cool, but the whole synthetics versus organics thing. Yeah, stupid. Anyway, I guess if anyone's listening to this, I don't know. Think the original idea was cooler, or do you think that what they did was better? I'm of the mind that it was not better, but hey, that's just me. Anyway, peace out.